Hey everybody, we're now going to talk about overtime. Overtime is the time or hours worked over your regularly scheduled shift. Here are the overtime rules for Alberta. There are some exceptions. However, if it's not stated in the question, then you can assume that if one of these two requirements are met, that overtime will need to be paid. So in Alberta, overtime of at least 1.5 times must be paid for work over 8 hours each workday and or 44 hours per week. So if you go over 8 hours a day or over 44 hours a week, then you are eligible for overtime. So we're going to assume that this is that this is in our questions. Time and a half, we would take our pay rate and multiply it by 1.5. Double time means that we would multiply our pay by 2. Let's do some questions. Example 2, if you earn $15 an hour, how much will you earn working a 10-hour shift in Alberta and earn time and a half for overtime? Okay, so I'm going to break this down for you. We want to determine our pay. Okay, so our pay is equal to our pay. So our regular, I'm going to say our regular pay plus our overtime pay. Now, we are working a total of 10 hours. Okay. The first 8 hours are not part of overtime. So the first would be 8 hours. That's your regular. Now, 10 minus 8 gives me 2 hours of overtime. So 2 hours of overtime. Okay, so now let's calculate our regular pay first. We get paid $15 per hour. So my regular pay is going to be 15 multiplied by 8 hours plus so this is my regular pay. Okay, 15 times 8, that's going to give me, okay, so regular pay for 8 hours, he's going to make $120. Or sorry, I'm going to make $120. Okay, then we need to do our overtime pay. So that's going to be 2 hours times by our regular pay, and then he is earning time and a half for overtime. So we're going to multiply that by 1.5. Okay, so here's my overtime pay, 2 hours. I multiply it by my regular rate, and then I multiply it by time and a half. Woo. So this is now going to equal 2 times 8 multiplied by 1.5. That's going to give me $24. So the last thing we need to do is add these two numbers up together to give us the total pay, which is going to be $144.00. Now we're going to do example 3. Okay, example 3. Herman earns $8.50 per hour and works 50 hours this week and earns double time for his overtime. Determine the total pay. Okay, so the total pay is going to be equal to the regular pay plus the overtime pay. So we're talking about a week here. If I go back to my overtime rules here, a week you get, after you work 44 hours, you get overtime. Okay, so the first 44 hours are going to be regular pay. Then we're going to go 50 minus 44 to give us how many hours will be used for overtime, which is going to be 6 hours. Then we're going to calculate our pay rate. So 844 multiplied by $8.50. Let's calculate that out. 44 times 8.50 gives me $374. So this is all regular pay. 6 hours is going to be, so we're going to go 6 times 8.50, and then we say that overtime is going to be double time. That means we're going to multiply all of this by 2. 6 times $8.50 times 2. That's going to give me $102. Okay, so that's from my overtime. Again, whenever we're totaling anything, we need to add those two numbers together. So 102 plus 374, I get $476.00. Remember that we always round money to 2 decimal points. Awesome. We're going to have you guys try one on your own. If you earn $25, how much will you earn working a working a 12-hour shift, earning time and a half for overtime? So I'm going to set this up for you. Remember that your total pay includes your regular pay plus your overtime pay. In a day, you're allowed to work 8 hours. So you worked a 12-hour shift. So the first 8 hours are going to be regular, plus then the overtime. We're going to go 12 minus 8. You worked 4 hours of overtime, plus 4 hours of overtime. Okay, so I'm going to let you go ahead and calculate the total pay. Remember to round your answer to the 2 significant digits.